I believe the age that my father started on me was actually 3. I had previously thought about 18 months, but I think it was 3. When my older daughter was 3, I put her in care. When my younger daughter was 3, I put her in care. And the day that the social services gave her back to me, because her foster parents were going on holiday, well, not that day, but the next day, I had the most intense panic attack of my life, which rendered me agoraphobic for the next 13 years. It was the day after they sent her back. For me, 3 was the age when I was supposed to have had polio and then pneumonia. I'm assuming now that my father injured me in some way that required hospitalization, and that is why my mother was so vague about the supposed polio, etc., etc. But that kind of begs the question, doesn't it, of why she ever, for a single second, left me or any other child alone with him. My brother and his wife should be extremely grateful that my father spent very little time in their house, and never, to my knowledge, alone with their children. But I can say for certainty, and did in my book, that if he was ever alone with the child who was handicapped, then that child would have been molested. The most vulnerable child in the household. He preferred little girls, but he wasn't averse to little boys. And he told me that. And as of today, no matter how my daughter reacts to this, it doesn't matter, because I am not going home to England, and am therefore unlikely ever to see her again. This is my autobiography. I appreciate that she doesn't want to talk about it, but I have to. I have been waiting to die all my life, or at least since I was 7. I would lie awake at nights in a cold panic of absolute terror, thinking that I was going to die. And that was because my father had told me of all the ways that might come about. When I found Karen's inquest notes and a death entry, it so happened that in the paper there was an article about children who had been molested in a school very close to her. And it instantly occurred to me that my father was in that vicinity at that time. I wonder what his toll actually was, and I wonder why no one else is coming forward. Maybe they're dead, or maybe they're too terrified. Or maybe they just haven't heard the appeal.